Beyond the deeper meaning of Battlestar Galactica, which I covered in my last rant about Battlestar Galactica, and for all intents and purposes on this channel is what we are covering right now. Fuck self-evolution, this is Battlestar Galactica territory now. Plainly, clearly, overarchingly, it just seems like at this point the Cylons want to wipe out humanity entirely, and there is no plan. That's it. That's all. That's all that's happening. There's no gaining authenticity, there's no discovering the true self, there's no higher point to anything, there's no finding their version of God, there's no trust in the universe, there's no religion, there's no love, there's no connectivity. It's just, we've had it, we're done, we're gonna kill you forever. You cannot hide. And we're following you across the known universe that we're jumping around, all sci-fi like, really in order to murder you before you set foot onto Earth, because that's our place now. And sorry, you thought you would be there. Where I am now is about to finish the 3rd season. It has begun, and by it has begun, we all know what I'm talking about, the song creeping up. We're about to know the answers to some of the questions, which are, who are the final 5? Additionally, what I think is really interesting is, I feel like I said some of this previously, is like, are the final 5, was the Temple of Jupiter a Cylon temple, or was it a human temple erected for Cylons? And is there like a cross-pollination worship situation where potentially human beings were revering these Cylon bodies, and have the Cylons existed for just an intense amount of time, uncalculable, longer than for however humanity's been around? And if that is so, if all this has happened before and all this has happened again, Starbuck returning and her old blah blah blah, is she part Cylon? I actually can't remember, but I honestly feel like she must be. And that the birth of Athena's daughter Hera on this in this timeline actually has more to say, like how humanity began, and actually how close their lineages are, how they're intertwined, how the two of them have been around since the dawn, since the conception of life on the planet Caprica, and that they're so deeply intertwined that there is no human life, there is no Cylon life. It's life. It's just life. And this competing for territory and design and one race being better than the other, boy does it just talk about the world we're in now. Boy does it ever. Anyway, I forgot that they're gonna make Gaius Baltar a weird religious, like blasphemous healer guy through this trial bullshit. That's gonna be really exciting. I've always really, I've always really loved Gaius. I think he's a creep, which I really love to hate and hate to love. And I love the weird relationship that he has with the imaginary Caprica 6. And I love that Caprica 6 also has her weird relationship with Gaius in her head. And there's just like this story that the outside world will never understand, because there are decisions that they're being guided to make that don't seem logical, because they're not the ones making the decisions. Not really. And if we want to get like really meta about it, like think about the ways in which like anxiety or the voices in our heads or like intrusive thoughts or whatever really drive us to do certain behaviors and be a certain way, things that don't make sense to anybody else, but they make sense to you and your ego. And it's like, is Caprica 6 are Gaius representations of those characters' ego? Have they become so intertwined? Or is it just a literal representation of what I'm talking about, in that Cylons and humans have been just interconnected for so long that there is no Cylon race. There is no human race. There's a Cylon human race. And I guess it's like one of those things where if you are looking for that place in archaeological history, anthropological history, sorry, where you are trying to find the oldest fossil record that connects different species and like the evolution line into Homo sapiens, the farther you go back, the less likely it is that you're going to find that record, because the earth is so old and the landscape has changed so much. Like, the potentiality of us finding any of that is like slimmer and slimmer the more time goes on. And so even though in this iteration of world history for these people, all the technology they have, all the advancements they have, all the programming and design that the Cylons have, they may never even, so first of all, they're not even considering any of the things that I'm spouting off about, but additionally, they wouldn't even understand the conceptualization to look for hybrid genes, right? Hybrid genes. And now that Athena, Sharon 2, had her child Hera, we know what those hybrid genes look like. So if you're still doing that thing where they abandoned very quickly to test whether or not humans are actually Cylons, are we only looking for, are they specifically a Cylon or are they specifically a human? Or are we also looking for hybrid genes? But they're not looking for hybrid genes because it never even occurred to them that Cylons and humans are the same. Weird shit.